You're watching The David Robinson Show
on the CoyoteMan Network.
Real talk, real people, real conversation.
And good evening, and welcome to The David Robinson Show. Real talk, real people, real conversations. Tonight's topic is the power of unity.
Come on.
I have an awesome, distinguished guest on my show.
Come on.
Really don't need any type of introduction, but without further ado, Mr. Coyote Man himself.
Man, I'm glad to be on your show.
Yes.
I appreciate being able to come to the David Robinson Show.
The man behind the network. The man that's making things happen.
Oh, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But it's the truth. We appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on the show. We're going to dive right into tonight's topic. The power of unity.
Okay.
So, what do you believe from that perspective that's missing in our community when it comes to the power of unity?
Well, one thing is the understanding of the word unity. You know, I heard it from a great brother by the name of Nuri Muhammad. He said we confuse unity with uniformity. He said we think that we, everybody got to be Church of Christ, everybody got to be Nation of Islam, everybody got to be into your division or denomination. But the lung works separately from the heart, and the heart works separately from the kidney. But they all have to work together in unity and in harmony for the function of this whole organism. Which is how we get organizations, right? So it's like we think we all have to be the same, but no, you can be the Church of Christ, you can be the Nation of Islam, but we can work together. They have an organization in the community called We Are Us.
Okay.
And they go into the community and they stop violence, and literally stop violence. I mean, they didn't called off murders, and it's because of the fact God is a bigger God than people take him for. They believe that God is this little tiny little dot. He's only over the Christians. He's only over the Muslims, but he's much bigger than that. So when they worked in unity, they was able to make a difference on the street.
So that's the thing I believe most of all. It's in the power of unity that makes the difference. Just like if we have to vote, it takes the number. People look for the greater number in order to put that man or woman into office. So, if we want to make a difference in our community, I believe we have to come together and work together.
That's right.
And I believe that's the thing that's missing in our community. So what would you say to my guests that are watching, since you are a person of vision, a person that makes things happen, what else would you say to my viewers that are watching, the thing that we're lacking when it comes to us, the narrative in our community?
Well, definitely one thing what you said is being in control of your own narrative. And then another thing that you actually said when you was talking about voting, I don't believe that in our community we should be Democrats or Republicans. I believe that we should be independents, because the Democrats hasn't done us well and the Republicans haven't done us well. So they should be they should compete for what we need. They shouldn't just say, oh, you ain't black. If you don't vote for me, you're not black, So that type of situation like that mean I don't have no value for you whatsoever because you already sold in to vote me in. I don't got to do nothing for you, So I don't think voting will actually change our situation anyway. I'm not telling nobody not to vote, but you know how people say, you got to watch what you say because our people died for us to vote. No, they died for us to have the right to vote, not to just do anything. You know what I'm saying? Just not to vote for the lesser evil. That don't even make sense. I don't believe our ancestors would say, well, I'm not going to vote for the one with the pit with 3 pitchforks. I'm just going to vote for the one with 2 pitchforks. No. Somebody should look at our community and say, okay, man, I need their votes, if that's what you say you need. So I need to bring something to the table to make these people say that, I should go your way.
Yeah, and then, one thing I've learned by working with you over this past year or so, you talked about family, which still involves unity. And you talked about the business, something, about the family. I believe in the family. What really inspired you to really zoom in more about family?
Well, I believe that we've been separated since the slave ship. So it's like we've been disconnected, and we got all types of things that disconnect us, whether it's religion, whether it's the Democrat, Republican, whether it's the way we think, vaccinated, unvaccinated, foolishness, So it's we let somebody come between us, shape our narrative, shape the way we think, and pretty much put a control over our own minds, because we're not in shape of our own thoughts. We go by whatever we hear in the media. We go by what we hear on social network. We don't really have a connection, and we don't even stand for nothing anymore, because we want to go along to get along. We want to fit in this society. So the reason why I focus on family so much is because we have to build a new family. We have to build a new structure. I believe polygamy has failed. I believe monogamy has failed. I believe it needs to be a new understanding of the family structure, because we have failed in our interaction to each other, because we don't really understand the nature of each other. Most women don't understand the nature of a man, and most men don't understand the nature of a woman. So they fail. Women, a lot of time, they expect the man to feel like they feel, and they can't understand why he's doing the things he do, because he's not you, and the other side, So if we don't learn each other's nature, we will never learn how to control circumstances. But family is very important. Our family was broken, and being that our family was broken, that was the number one thing that destroyed us. Daddy left the home. Right? I'm doing an album called Daddy Home, right? Daddy left the house, right? When daddy left the house, structure left the house. See, what happens when the normal order of things, the woman actually is the one who establishes the authority of the father, right? So when the father is off working like he should be, right? The mother is cheerleading him. Oh, your father is great. He's bringing his blah. So in return, the children cheerlead him. Oh man, I can't wait for daddy to come home. So when daddy come home, they like celebrating daddy. This ain't a situation where the woman is at home like, man, yeah, you work too much, blah, 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 blah. So the children is going to take on the same emotions of the children going to take on the same emotions of their mother. Right. So they're going to be like, oh, you work too much. So now the disrespect has begun, right? Because the mother sets that inside of the house. So if she's feeling a certain way, if she's feeling uncomfortable about daddy, so is the children feeling uncomfortable about daddy. The problem is, even for the woman, is when that child becomes 14 years old and she hasn't been under the rule of her father, now this child is now disrespectful because she thinks her mother is her sister. She thinks her father is her brother. So she calling shots. Why? Because she never was in no type of order. And you ain't never had me follow my father. I don't even listen to my father. I ain't gonna listen to you.
So we didn't got into bust my head relationships, which is also one of Coyote's Man show, which he changed the narrative and talk about the narratives of relationships. But before we jump more into that, I want to kind of finish about unity here and family. It's something that when I came on board, you talked about, hey, I really want to keep the family together. I really want to see the Coyote Man Show network grow. And one thing I want to say, what would you say to my audience that are watching? The one thing that can help, and the one thing that's missing when it comes to unity in our community?
Well, I can say, as far as the Coyote Man Show network, download the app. If you got Roku, download the channel. If you got Amazon Fire TV, download the channel. It's very important that you support the Coyote Man Show network and any independent people that's trying to control media, because we have to be able to speak our narrative. If we don't speak our narrative, other people will convince you, and you will be destroyed from your own ability to be convinced. I have a show here called What's Up With That, and on the show they some Christians, but they some putting it down Christians, right? They ain't playing around, and it's like I'm quite proud of them, because some of the stuff they say is kind of like rough to say in a time like this. And one thing I realized by listening to them when they was saying some of the subjects that they said, and they said that now they're going to be persecuted for their beliefs, So if you stand with God, if you stand on his moral values, at a time like this, you could be persecuted.
That's true.
But I thought in my mind, I said, it's because somebody else controlled our narrative, and we was convinced. We was convinced that all the Muslims on the earth was terrorists. We let somebody convince us, right? That some of these great people that I knew was terrorists. You know, you can't be a Muslim and a terrorist at the same time. It doesn't even make sense. You know, you can't follow Allah and terrorism at the same time. No, you have people that portray to be Muslims. Oh, didn't we have some people in Christianity that said they was Christians? They was, you know, but they betrayed to be Christians, but they actually ate people. They betrayed to be Christians, but they actually burnt crosses on people's lawns. They portray Christianity, but you can't blame Christianity by these individuals. But we was convinced by the fact that we was convinced that they was terrorists. So now that we was convinced that they was terrorists, now when you stand on your Christian's beliefs and the things that you actually believe in, now you're labeled as a domestic terrorist, a hater, somebody that is trying to set everybody back. Now, but why? Because you was convinced. If you could control your own narrative, you could have looked at them and said, you know what? I know some good people, but because they wasn't in your clique, you like, well,
right.
well you know, they ain't with Christ, so that you think, you know, they ain't with Christ, so I don't got a bat for them. You know, we don't understand. Like, see, when we get attacked, nobody is asking us whether we Muslim or Christian. Nobody cares. They see the complexion of you.
Your skin color.
They see the complexion of your skin color. They know you're one of the original people of the earth. So they know in their mind, they say, hey, that's the issue I had with you. Now, of course, I'm not talking about the whole Caucasian family. I'm not talking about any other nationality of the earth, like all of them. You know, I don't put nobody totally in one bag. But I will say this: we gotta have more respect for ourselves. We gotta have more love for ourselves, and we use words that we really don't understand. Like we say we have to have love for ourselves, or we'll tell somebody I have love for myself, but nobody even know what the word means. So you talking about love, you talking about maintenance and service, right? That electric motion that you feel, that little good feeling, that's emotion. That's electric motion that can drive you to love and hate. The same passion that makes you love is the same passion that'll make you kill. So you got to understand the love part of it is the maintenance. It's not me telling you that I'm going to bring you a glass of water which shows love. It is me actually bringing you the glass of water. So when I say I love myself, it's because I maintenance myself. You can tell in my body structure. You can tell in the fact that I'm walking around that track that I love myself. You can tell me in the fact that I picked a book up that I love myself. You can tell the fact that I'm opening up my brain so I can get some more information for somebody else that I love myself. I listen to children. I listen to homeless. I try to take in all the information I can. That's the love of yourself, the improval of yourself, and the ability to listen.
I like that. But what we're going to do here, and before we go to our break, we talk about improving ourselves when it comes to information. Do you believe that that's something that we lack as well, information?
I believe there's a lot of information out here. Jesus said, my people will be destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. And I believe there's a lot of information out here, but we limit our information and we limit our understanding of the information. Somebody taught us this information, and we're lazy readers. We're lazy listeners. Like, we want somebody to plow it all out for us, so we don't want to dig deeper. He says, seek and you will find, but you want to stay on a surface. You want to stay on your surface. And one way to keep a people not very wise is to keep them spooked out.
Wow.
You know, and if you keep them spooked out, they don't understand simple things. You know, like they might be running from demons, right? But me personally, right? My issue is more human beings, right? So if I went outside in the dark, right, to my car, I'm not thinking that no demon gonna rob me. You know, right. The person I think gonna rob me is J-Bo out there. You know, I ain't looking for nothing to pop up out the ground to do anything, and I feel that I could deal with them more than with J-Bo packing, right? Mm-hmm. So our reality has been shifted, and it gets shifted because we don't understand words. Like if somebody was to come in here and they act terrible, they every time you see them, they cussing, they doing this stuff, you would say that man has a terrible spirit. And you could parallel that with a terrible mind. If there's somebody coming in here and they always pleasant and they joyous, you say, man, he has he has a great spirit, or he has the spirit of God, right? Well, if somebody come in here the opposite, you say he got a terrible mind, or he got the spirit of Satan. So you got mind and spirit equating itself. Mind being the mind being the understanding of spirit. So now when you understand it like that, and somebody say he's possessed, that means that you let somebody put their mind inside of you. You let somebody put their thoughts inside of you. Well, man, you tell me you ain't never seen a person get possessed before? Yeah, I seen an alcoholic. I seen a junkie. See, try to tell a junkie about this demon stuff. They'll tell you what the real demon is. Try to tell a junkie all that demon stuff. They'll tell you what a real demon is. They say you ain't known a demon until you've been strung out on this drug, because this drug is possessing your body, making you do things that you would never do. That's the real invasion of the body snatchers. Half of these people, it's just not understanding wordplay. And getting back to the unity, that's what separated it. Jesus spoke Arabic and Aramaic, right? So when you hear Muslims and Christians, some Christians or Muslims like, oh, well, we worshiping a different God. Well, it was no English, right? So you're talking about Arabic and Aramaic. When Jesus said, peace be unto you, he said, Assalamu alaikum. When he said God, he said Allah. That's God in Arabic, right? So, but if you don't know that, and you just using English, you thinking you're separated, and you're not separated. And your self-righteousness, right?
Oh my goodness. Stops
you from actually being able to listen to an idea that might be able to elevate you. We don't even let God work because we figure we got it all. So we don't even let God have the time. We call it building. If I sit here and talk with you, I'm building. I say something, you say something. And then you might say something to make my brain build. But if I was sitting here like, oh, I just know, and David don't know what he's talking about, then my brain cannot do, because I don't allow God to come in. It's almost like when you look in Ephesians, right? And it tells you the structure. And it said, Christ is the head of man, right? Mm-hmm. Man is the head of woman. Woman is the head of child, right? So, and it tells you if you're say your husband, even if he was wrong, let your kind words soothe him, right? You don't need to be bucking him, because of the fact that you wouldn't do that to God. He said, have reverence to your husband as to God. But let's look at this. When we buck him, when we come in and try to take God's place, that's where the problem is. Because if that man is wrong, God he'll harm him in his sleep. He can't even sleep. God saying, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Because the woman did what she's supposed to do. But if she come to him like a man, he know how to deal with that. Whether he right or wrong, he don't even care. He responds back to protect his ego and his manhood.
And on that note, the word says a soft answer turns away wrath. But in order to understand that means you have to have the word in you. A lot of times when we think about different things or circumstances that we get into, it's all about really how we respond to the situation. It's always about your response. And just because somebody does or say something to you, you don't have to respond back to them.
That's right.
And when you talk about the power of unity and working together, it's so often I would rather lose the battle than lose the war. Because if I lose the war, that means I lost everything. I can lose the battle. I can have a disagreement. We can agree to disagree, but we still need each other. I still need you. In order to be successful at what we do, we need each other. But so often we want to do it ourselves.
That's right.
If I can just do it, it's all about me. But in order to be successful, what makes a Coyote Man Show Network successful? Where we are.
Team.
It's a team. It's a family. It's us working together. Not just being able to have a show. It couldn't be a David Robertson show without the Coyote Man Show Network.
That's right.
It's the network, but we all have different shows. We play a part. So, but what we're going to do, Mr. Coyote Man himself, we're going to take a break here. We're going to come back and talk about bust your head relationships. We're going to jump right into dealing with that. I think that's something that he often enjoys and talked about, but we will come back.
You're watching the David Robinson Show
on the Coyote Man Show Network.
Real talk, real people, real conversation.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing, education, and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the Coyote Man Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancespecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
You're watching The David Robinson Show
On the Coyote Man Show Network.
Real talk, real people, real conversation.
And welcome back to the David Robinson Show. Real talk, real people, real conversations. And for my viewers that are watching, keep watching. Buckle up.
Come on.
Because we're going to talk about bust your head relationships. Mr. Coyote.
Yeah, and it's relationships.
First of all,
Don't bust.
what made you came up with that name, sir?
Well, it's relationships. Don't bust my head. Where it's better to be loved than to get your head busted.
Woo!
Well, just a don't bust my head was really just to get your attention, give you a shock of the hour. You know, that's all it was meant to do, just to snatch you up. I believe that relationships, if we don't start off with relationships, we're never going to get back to where we need to be. You know, like I said, I believe that monogamy, polygamy, I believe that both of them was messed up, right? And the way they're actually expressed today. You know, so I believe that we need a new understanding, a new way to actually move forward, you know, in our relationships and how we respond. You was mentioning something about responding. Like, you can't always change the way people do things, but you can change your response to such. That's what you're responsible for, your response. You know, I used to hear somebody say, well, that person ain't speak, you know. And I was like, well, if you spoke, how would you know? You know, it's like, if you always speaking, like me, I would never know if you didn't speak. Because when I see you, I'm gonna speak to you. Regardless. So I don't even, that's a part that would miss me. You know, so I believe that we create problems for ourselves because we're so busy trying to create a current and not ride the wave. It's easier to ride the wave, you know, communicate in a way that you ride the wave. Now, certain things need to be expressed, but it still could be expressed in a way that you know, that won't hurt somebody. Now, if it's true, it's true, you know, and some information just have to come out there, you know.
And on that note again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's still, once again, going back to how you respond to the situation. And I think, you know, you mentioned something earlier about, you know, about the relationship. A person's always talking about the other person and blaming the other person.
So it works like this, right? If one of the key signs you can tell that the person that you're dealing with got some mental issues, right? Or something that need to be dealt with. If you ask them the question, what happened in your past relationships? This is a good way to pick a mate. You say, what happened in your past relationships? And if they tell you, well, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, and they don't never say nothing about what they did, don't walk, run.
Please write that down.
Because that means
Get your notepad, please.
that don't mean that the stuff that they tell you ain't true. That mean that, but they haven't even took the chance to actually put the microscope on themselves, because whoever you're dealing with, you drew them to you in some kind of way. You had something was going on in your life. It was some type of mentality that drew them to you. And it wasn't your goodness. It was your brokenness, right? That actually drew this into your life. Same thing with men. If men are on their purpose, meaning that they got knowledge, they're working on their finances, they can choose properly. So some of these women that they get that's actually broken, you chose that broken woman because you was in a broken state. And you chose what you could get, what you had access to get. Men function off of access. That's why I never had a problem with the gold digger. I never had a problem with the gold digger, because I'm supposed to be mad at a woman because the fact is a woman wants nice things. I have sense enough to know when I'm out of my caliber. If I cannot afford that, see, a lion in the jungle, he builds all his fat and mass so the lioness can see that, okay, I want that one because he can really protect me. Well, if another lion is bigger, he might not be able to get this lioness right here that everybody want. This lioness right here might go to that one right there, and he's fit to have him. I always knew where I felt was on the food chain. So when you see those videos, when you see the woman and she wasn't talking to the guy first, and now he goes to this car, and she like, oh, this is your car? Well, the thing is, what we got to understand is that car was a symbol to her of success. So emotionally, we feel like, oh, she only liked me because I got a car. No, fool. She was made by nature to want to protect herself and her children. So when she see a symbol of success, that makes her say, okay, well, maybe this is worth, let me see how his attitude is too. You know what I'm saying? Because I can get with a broke dude and face the same complication. So if I got this chance, if I done went out and this type of woman, she don't go to the same beauty salons you go to. Her feet is not done at the same place. You know, some of the stuff that she do, some of the restaurants she go to, you probably could pay rent for a whole year. You know, wow. So it's like when you think about that, you might be a little bit out of your league. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at a person on that level, and then don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me when I rise into a position that I have more access to the world. So you got to think, our relationships is based on access.
Mm-hmm. So I want to jump into something you said. You mentioned the word brokenness, and I'm going to use the word hurt people.
Hurt people, yeah.
Other people. I believe that a lot of times that we don't take time to heal from prior hurt relationships. We carry that baggage into other relationships. And then when that doesn't work, you kind of like piling it on because you never resolve that issue from the previous, and you continue to hurt people. So why do you believe that most people that are hurting, not that they don't want to, they don't have the intentions to hurt that other person, but that's because they're hurting. They haven't been healed.
They didn't process, but let's look at this word time, right? Because time doesn't work for everybody the same way.
True.
Right? Some people will hold on to that brokenness for the rest of their life because that's what they choose to do. Some people will end that hurt after it's over. Why? Because that's what they choose to do. It's your mind. See, people have no idea how powerful this mind is. This mind is so powerful that if you wanted to be like, I don't feel like this day. I ain't drinking today. I ain't blah, blah, blah today. Boom, it's gone. If you believe. See, I'll go back to the Muslim and Christian thing again. Okay. A story, right? Mm-hmm. When I was younger, I used to feel there was this ghost downstairs, mm-hmm. right? So I was in the Baptist church. So when I felt like the ghost was coming upstairs, I was like, Jesus, 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 right? Mm-hmm. And the ghost would go back. That would go back. I got a little bit more information about something, you know. I was saying, God, 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 God. The ghost would go back, right? When I got a little bit more information, I realized that whatever I said that I believed, mm-hmm. that energy will go back. It's not, and that's not taking nothing away from Jesus, Muhammad, or anybody. it's saying the God force is already inside of you. So this God force, this life force that we have, has fixed it so the spirit, which is our mind, whatever our mind internalizes, can push anything back or bring anything into our existence because God already exists inside of us.
Amen. Whatever we think.
Whatever we think, we bring it. So you think, you bring your own death into existence. You bring your own bad day into existence. You said, man, shoot, the day is going to be a bad day. Your cells inside of your body, because you're the only God they know. So your cells inside of your body say, yes, sir. You want to make this a terrible day? We're going to do our best to make it a terrible day. So you're getting aches you wouldn't normally get. People call you, all kinds of bill collectors calling them, blah, blah, blah. But if you walked out the house and said, man, this is going to be a good day. Oh, they might say, man, it's going to be a hard one. He done ate a whole bunch of sugar. But it's going to be a hard one. He going to work us overboard. But we got to do all we can to kind of like give him this good day, even though it's going to be kind of hard. He done stuffed down a whole bunch of pork. I don't know what we going to do. Hey, wake her up. Wake the cell up. Wake her up. We got to get busy because you pretty much set. And the reason why, you hear a person say, well, be careful what you say, right? But they don't tell you why. See, the reason why you got to be careful what you say is because when your mind thinks a thought, which is pure electricity, boom, your thought shape matter.
Come on now.
Which is your will. So your thoughts start to shape what your mind thinks. So the reason why you got to be careful of what you say, because your thoughts start to shape what you say. And the only thing that's going to stop it from being shaped is if my will is stronger than your will. So that's why if a man say, I don't want this type of woman, and they keep saying, I don't want this type of woman, that's the woman he gets. If a woman say, I don't want this type of man, I don't want this type of man, that's the man she gets, because whatever she thinks about the most will be her reality.
And guess what? That's in the word. The Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you're speaking it. Whatever we speak into existence.
That's why I don't like how people cripple themselves. They say, well, I'm like this. You like this because you say you like this. Well, I can't change this. I'm just not ready. Because you said that, right? It's like you're making a deal with yourself. But once you say, no, I can do this, that's it.
And I'm in agreement. That's just powerful. Well, we're going to narrow and we're going to drive over a little bit more. We're going to talk about still relationship submission.
Okay, submission. So one of the reasons why people have they have issues with submission, right? It's because they don't understand the word. Sub and mission. So sub means to go under a mission. So the man has to have a mission for you to go under. If he don't have no mission, you can't go under nothing. A woman is a helpmeet. She can't help you do nothing, right? So if he's trying to build the kingdom, then she comes under that mission and he comes under that mission. He's just the CEO of that mission. She the president.
And for y'all that are narrow-minded, it's vision.
Vision. Vision. So she had to come under that vision. He had to come under that vision. And actually, while they actually coming under that vision and they pretty much thinking together to make this move, and they know the places where everybody actually supposed to be, then it start to function in order. Because then when the children see a mommy respect daddy, then we got to respect mommy, because the divine connection is in place.
Come on now. So, to my viewers that are watching the Coyote Man Show Network, what would you say to those that are watching? What would make them relationship work better when it comes to the power of submission and unity?
Well, if you don't submit, a man only loves what his right hand possesses. Mm-hmm. So you can't protect what you can't control.
Come on now. Period.
And I'm not talking about being controlling, because you can be off balance any kind of way. If you drink too much water, it'll kill you. Mm-hmm. If you do anything too much, it'll hurt you. So when it comes to submission, when a police officer pulls me over, which has happened from time to time, I'm under submission because he has authority. This man has a gun. He has a stick. He has all kinds of things. So I'm trying to save my life
And I know if he try to take my life, I might take his. So either way I go. Either way I'm gone. So I'm trying to protect my life under this type of authority, right? So when he says, hey, license and registration, yes, sir. Boom, 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 boom. The problem is somebody came into our house and told the woman you could do anything you want, you know? And so when he told her she could do anything you want, you license and registration. Wow, where my license registration at? But it doesn't work for her. You know why it doesn't work for her? Because a woman wants to be valued. And a man only values what his right hand possesses. So if he's dealing with a woman that don't listen to him, he values the woman that does. He values what brings him peace. The reason why he don't treat you with value. This woman asked me one time, do you value me? And at first I said, yeah. But then I thought about it. And I said, you know what? I don't. And she said, oh, Coyote, stop playing. You didn't. No, I said, no, you making me think. I said, did you turn your value up? Because the reason why you value a vehicle, because when you go to the vehicle, you can put your keys in the vehicle and the vehicle go where you want it to go. And pretty much the engine sound smooth and everything. So when you wash this video, when you wash this car, when you maintenance this car, right? You're loving it. You shining it up. Then you walk away from it. Then you look back at it again. You smile. You can't even help. You shine the tires and you look back at it again. Why? Because the engine ain't mumbling. The engine ain't growing. The passenger is the passenger side. They know I'm driving. Their job is to help me drive. Hey, you see that? You see that car right there? Oh, thank you. Not to take the steering wheel from me while I'm trying to drive. They respect my position because if they try to take the steering wheel from me, we gonna crash.
True.
It could only be one. See, not only did she gotta let me rule, she gotta let me fail. She gotta love me so much, she gotta allow me to fail. That means that don't mean that she don't give me advice. But she know I make the final decision. So she got to allow me to fail. And after I fail, she don't come and say, I told you so. Don't jump into the man zone. She might say, baby, you know what? I think next time we probably should so-and-so. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Because he's still feeling like, see, you got to know who you dealing with.
So basically what you're saying is she got to stroke his ego.
Yep, and let me say this. I'm glad you said that. Because I heard a woman say, I was talking to this woman, she said, well, you think I should stroke my husband's ego? I said, that's exactly what you should do. Because if you ain't stroking it, somebody else is stroking it.
Come on now.
I said, you got to understand he has an ego. It need to be stroked. It might as well be stroked by you.
At home.
And it's something else she said, you want me to sugarcoat what I say. Put some sugar on it. Put some sugar and spice on it. Because if you was talking to the police, if you had any sense when he pulls you over, you're going to put some sugar on it. Because we dealing with life and death. Now, inside of your house, you might not be dealing with life and death, but you're dealing with the disobedience of God by disrespecting that man. Well, he ain't my husband. Oh, did he sleep with you?
Now you're going somewhere. You're going deep. You're going somewhere.
Did he sleep with you? Are you saying that he's not lawful to man? Because did he sleep with you? Yeah, he slept with me.
Oh.
Are you in the house with him? And he slept with you? Yeah, I'm in the house with him. He slept with me, but he don't tell me what to do. Are you upset if he was to go and do? Yeah, because he my man. It don't take that piece of paper to make you marry. It takes that piece of paper to make you lawful to man. We was getting married way before we had that piece of paper. We was getting married in slavery. You got to understand, when you take on, when you go into the woman, you have merged. So men that reason why we deal with so many issues because we go into so many different women, right? Ooh. And then we leave them, and then after we leave them, then we figure that, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and do your own thing, blah, 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 blah. We throw them out, right?
That means you have a whole lot of soul ties that you're dealing with.
How many wives do you have? How many husbands did she have? Well, I don't know what she's talking about. She had many husbands. So how many wives did you have? I don't know what you're talking about. You have many wives. Every woman that you actually took on, became what your right hand possessed until she dealt with another man, until she developed another a situation, until she developed another tie stronger than your tie. That's why you still feel responsible. That's why she wondering why he still feel responsible for his baby mama. Why he still feel responsible for it? Because you are responsible. You got to be careful of who you lay down with, because you still are holding responsibility for these people, and you can call it anything you want. You can call it boyfriend and girlfriend. You can call it marriage. You can call it God don't see boyfriend and girlfriend. See, God functions off of the nature. Nature don't see boyfriend and girlfriend. Nobody came and wrote the lion certificate for his wives. Nobody came to the lion and said, hey, fill us out and everything. Y'all married now. Nobody told the lion that he was married but his penis. When he took her on, that became one of his wives. So our lack of responsibility is because of our misunderstanding of what this whole situation is.
Well, I'm gonna deal with two things here before we end. One, why do you see that a woman feels that she, at this time that we're living in, that she don't need a man in her life?
Well, they set her up. You know, our poor black woman, they set her up, right? So during the women liberation movement, right? And when a man was, after, she got into another person's fight, the white woman was being oppressed by her man. And our woman got into that fight when she was never under pressure by her man, because her man wasn't able to become powerful. He was kept under the foot anyway. So she got into a fight that didn't belong to her. Then the welfare came in, and farewell to the man. He has to get out the house in order for you to keep this finances. She kept the check, got rid of the man, right? It ain't her fault, because the fact is what she's supposed to do. The man was broken down, the factories moved across seas. She don't got no way to take care of herself. Now in that man situation, she's starting to become the man, right? So another man says, because she still submits to a man, she just don't know what man she's submitting to. She still submits. Another man said, I'm gonna give you a job. He still gave it to her. I'm gonna give you a job, I'm gonna pay you $250,000 a year. Now she's starting to develop testicles. You know what I'm saying? So a man can't tell her nothing. You know what I'm saying? She put them on the table when she come home. Massage my back. I'm out here working. I'm in that medical field. I'm working like 15, 16 hours, all this type of stuff like that. I can't deal with no man and his needs and everything. So then she started becoming miserable. She said, what is this? I got money. She tried to tell herself she happy. She goes shopping. And she tell everybody, she call people, I'm happy. I'm out here shopping. Yeah. But then she'd be like, I need to find me a man. But that's in closed doors, so it's a mask being put up. Because, see, we was made to be with each other. And once you take us out of place, once you put it out of place, misery is in your life. You got men that say, well, man, times has changed. And they get with a woman that has all this money.
Oh, my goodness.
As soon as they get their self together, they leave that woman. The reason why they leave that woman, they hate that woman. It's an unnatural circumstance. At first, it seemed good. Because beta seemed good. I just sit on this couch, I do this. She paying for everything. Everything is good and everything. But her voice is heavier. Her voice is heavier now. The couch is, you just gonna leave all that stuff on the couch? Her voice is heavier. His voice is lighter. Well, now the role reversed and switched so much that he trying to get in the conversation. She talking, well, blah, blah, blah. He like, but he the female.
And the roles have changed.
And she the male, but that don't last very long for her. Because what happens with a woman, that's fine at first. Beta is fine at first. But a woman is naturally created to be with God. She's naturally created to be with somebody pursuing God. She's naturally created to be with a man with ambition. So it seemed good when he was agreeing with her. When she around real men and he agreeing with her, yeah, but my baby, yeah, she right about that. I don't know what these men are saying. It was cool for the conversation. But now he's irritating her. She don't even want to be around him. He ain't even a man. Stop agreeing with me all the time. It's like she is becoming disgusted because she's becoming herself. She wants a real man. She wants somebody she can look up to. She don't want you to agree with her all the time. She know you trying to tell her that she's saying something sensible, and she know what she's saying to you is crazy. And she thinking back, she know it herself, man. What I was saying was pure crazy. And he gonna agree with me. She was made to learn from the divine. She was made to learn God, man. You know, she was made to learn in this line. So when it started off and she had her money and she developed her testes, she said, wait a minute. These testes was kind of cool. You know, I got to command a couple of shots. I got to put them out the house and out the car, but I'm miserable. I don't want to be like that. And everything, most of those women will return all of that stuff if they just had a decent man that they could actually be with, because the process that they're in is an unnatural process, and it's unnatural for them and it's unnatural for the man. So he hates her and she hates him because they are both in an unnatural situation. Now, if somebody understands nature, they can take that man from that woman quick as I don't know what, and a man can take that man or that woman away from that man. Why? All they got to do is understand nature. Let's take a woman, for example. She see a woman, a man is talking to her, teaching, a woman don't really want to hear what he got to say. She watching. So while she ain't want to hear what he say, she's like, you know, that stuff you were saying was kind of smart. That stuff you were saying kind of smart. You talking about when I said blah, 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 blah. Yes, exactly. How did you learn that? Now, because his nature says he needs to be needed.
Exactly.
He spends all his time teaching this woman because he needs to be needed, and he falls in love with her because he's falling in love with his nature. That's what he was designed to fall in love with her. And she was designed to fall in love with a king, somebody that had aspirations. That's why women hang around men that's trying to do something. They don't have time for no man that ain't trying to do nothing. So they hang around people, a decent woman hangs around a man that's trying to build something, trying to make something happen, a part of some type of cause.
Let me kind of conclude then. Before we end, then why do women choose, not all, men that are not doing anything?
You choose people where you are. You choose people where you are. See, some women know what it takes to have a husband. And I'm not talking about a piece of paper. She know what it takes to have a real husband. She knows she has to come under a mission. And sometimes, just like Satan, we've been ruling for so long, we don't want to give up this rule, God. We done had these testes for so long. We don't want to give them up. But when she come into her right state of mind, she said, no, I'm not happy like this. I'm happy being a woman. You know, she happy being like Sonji. You know what I'm saying? Sonji, like, she want to fight. She work at a job, and the job say something she don't like, or something she don't like. I ain't working no more. She just gone that same day, right? That same day. Now, the man in me can't say nothing, but the bitch in me, it's like, why did you leave your freaking job? You know these bills we got. But I can't say that. The man in me say, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because she don't really supposed to be working for no man anyway. She don't really supposed to have a man telling her what time she can eat her lunch, when she can take her break, all that stuff. That's supposed to be, she's supposed to be under her man. She's supposed to be under the mission. But he has to have a mission, right?
He is having a mission.
He has to have a mission. But the thing is that we fight what's inside of us. We have male and female hormones also too. So when she quit those jobs, my female hormone come up. You didn't quit that job? About cash electric bill, right? But I don't say it. Because we must make our masculine energy overtake that feminine energy and be like, all right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen. Get to praying, get to slaying, you know, and make it happen, and then they proud, you know, and build the kingdom.
Amen. Well, thank you, Mr. Coyote, for being on the David Robinson Show. Words of wisdom, words that you have gave out tonight is very powerful. For my viewers that are watching, please, and thank you for watching the David Robinson Show on the Coyote Man Show Network.
Yeah, make sure y'all download the Coyote Man Show Network app. That's the biggest thing y'all can do for us, to download the Coyote Man Show Network app and download the channel on Roku, Amazon Fire TV.
Support.
Yeah, let's make this happen. Let's control our own narrative, ladies and gentlemen. And none of these words are mine. They all belong to God, because I ain't nothing without him. Peace.
Amen.
You're watching The David Robinson Show.